Hello there everybody, my name is Supersonic, blah, and welcome to a Smite video! I know you guys are gonna be like, what the hell, this is not a Smite video, shut up, what are you doing, this looks like a graph, and I see the words calculator, and then maths and stuff, and I'm like, oh god, I don't want to do that. Well, do not worry anything about that. This, I am simply going to be showing you guys just some more clarification on things with penetration. This is gonna include... well, it's actually mostly going to be focusing on Obsidian Shard. So, Obsidian Shard is a fun... I say fun, it's an item which has a useful passive. The more protection someone has, the more penetration you have. It used to be just a flat 33%, but now they have changed it. So, what we're going to do is we're going to have to try and work out exactly how to find this penetration number. So, for that, we're going to use a graphing calculator because it's just easier to do it this way. So the first part of the passive says that anything under 40 protections, you have 15%. So for that, we're going to make it Y is the protections that you have left, X is your initial protections, and then we have the equivalent of 15% of X as penetration. Now this only applies for the values of between 0, your protection value, oh, hang on, less than or equal to your protection value, which has to be less than or equal to 40. Like that, see? So anything under 40 protections, you have that penetration. And we know this is the case because, hey, look, at 40 protections, you have 15, which is 6. So that's going to work. The other way that we can also show this as well, if you want to see the actual value, is just 15% of X. So Y equals 0.15% of X, and that again will only be for these values. So again, as you can see, look here, you should know that the numbers, or the difference between the red and the blue line, if you add them together, we'll always get the value of X. So there's a 6 there, there's a 4, there's a 34 there. Surprisingly enough, you add those together, you get 40, so that's good. Now the next side that we can do, which is also fairly easy, is if we look at more than 200 protections, and you get 45% penetration. So again, you have Y equals original protections minus that 45% of X. And this time, it's not actually the value of between down here, it's actually for anything up to 325 from 200. So that's there. And just to make this thing look nice, we're going to do this. And then the other way around, we can just copy this, paste it here, and instead just make it that. And you'll see that, look, we get values where, look, that's 90. That's 110, so the difference is all good and dandy, and we can see that. Now the middle section, this middle section is a pain in the butt, like an absolute pain in the butt. So first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in some guidelines of X equals 40. I'm also going to put in X equals 200, and these the lines between here and here are a mess. So if what we want to try and do here is we just want a straight line running right the way through here. That's all we want. We just want a straight line. So we want that line that goes connecting from here and connecting to here. And so to do that, what we're going to use is we're going to use our trusty friend Y equals mx plus c. We have 2 points on a line where we know that they should be, so we can draw a straight line between those 2 points, and we can find out the results from there. To find out the M side of things, you do delta Y, you do the change in X over the change in Y, which is you take the 2 values of Y that you've got, you subtract the smaller from the bigger, you do the same thing for the X values, which in this case comes out to 21 over 40, and then you have to substitute in the values that you've got, and from there you can find the things that you need to. So for the first graph, it is looking something like this, and it looks like that. And then what we can do is we can take this also as well. We'll just put in that it is between here and between here, so that we've got that all sorted. And then again, same thing, we can just take this bit and invert all the signs. So we've got here, we've got Y equals this, except it's minus 15, and it's just this, if I'm correct. And I am, so huzzah. There we go, and again, it's just for that. And so now you can see we have these graph values here. Now what does this actually mean? What is this actually showing us? Well, this is just showing us the values of Obsidian Shard. The red line is going to show us, let me just pull these out the way, and I'll put all these together as well so that it all looks nice. The red line shows us the resulting value that you're going to end up with. So if you have 200 protections, you are going to end up with effectively 110 protections. The blue line will show us how much we're actually getting as like a flat penetration value. So for example, we have 6 penetration from Obsidian Shard at 40, and at 200 we have 90 penetration equivalent of. And you can see at 325 you get pretty much 146 pen, which is pretty good. But the thing is, there are other penetration options out there. For example, you have 50 flat pen. Now, the way that we can find out, or the best way to do this, is if we go y equals 50, on the blue line, you get 50 penetration when the opponent has, or your enemy that you're hitting has 124 protections or more. So that's a good number to note. That's when you get the 50. Not Obsidian Shard. Spear of the Magus has a penetration value of 50 reduction, which is 50 flat reduction, and then the 15 pen on it. So in total, you are getting 65. So if we look at, nope, not that one, it's this line, which I'm going to dot and put dash and put lines through. If we say that this is going to be 65, we can see here that under 152, 153 protections, Obsidian Shard will penetrate less, which is all of this side over here. Anything that's less than this line, if it's on below it, closer to the x-axis, it will pen less than the Spear of the Magus. In fact, actually, anything under 65, you know, is a 0. So we've got that that we can look at. But when we get to here, now Obsidian Shard starts doing more. So if you're going into an opponent, say, and they've got 2 magical defense items, Spear of the Magus is going to penetrate less than the Obsidian Shard is, which is why so many times we now see Obsidian Shard and Spear of the Magus together, because early Spear of the Magus does fantastic. When your opponent gets like 3-4 items online, Obsidian Shard starts pulling its weight more. So between the two of these items, you can get insane amounts of penetration, like absolutely insane amounts. In fact, actually, I'm going to go ahead and show you this side of things. I'm actually just going to open the protections graph that I've got. This is just something which you'll see in an upcoming video, but you're going to see a little bit more about this. So, same sort of thing idea, everything looks slightly different. First of all, I've just gone and said this is the resulting amount. It's the x minus 0.15x, which is 0.85. So this is the Obsidian Shard. You have the Spear of the Magus stacks. Don't mind these bits. These bits here are if you're doing with like Anubis and you've got a Void Shield. And these are going to be, and the reason why it goes to 90 now is because with Spear of the Magus and Obsidian Shard, you get percentage penetration reduction, flat penetration reduction, percentage pen, and flat pen. Since not Obsidian Shard, sorry, since Spear of the Magus is flat reduction, it goes first, so you have to take these numbers into account first, which means that when you have 90 protections, you're actually down to 40, which means we go back to that old graph which you saw where you have the 40 line. We've basically just shunted it over by 40. For example, if we just shove everything, if we just put 50 there, as you can see, look, anything under 50, Spear of the Magus is already dealing with, but after 50, here's what you get left with. So that's pretty much what we're looking at here. So anything under 50, Spear of the Magus deals with. But the reason why you put the two together is because the green line here, which is essentially the 15 pen that Spear of the Magus has, that's what we're looking at here. So ignore the blue line. The blue line is just if you have 50 flat pen, which we don't. But as you can see here, back when we said at 150 protections, Obsidian Shard was doing more, like 152. You had 65 from both of them. It's pretty good. It's not too bad. But of course, now that's actually closer to the 200 mark, because you've pulled down 50 flat So bluff, you've gone back to 150 protections, and then you've taken it off. So looking at the two together, you can see that it's absolutely insane. Just the values are so different. At 250 protections, you have 95. Like, that's nuts. Like, the two items together do insane work. At 325 protections, you are leaving someone with 136. That's nearly 200 protections just completely gone. Like, that's insane. That's fantastic. And there's no way, like, unless you have a team of like 5 magicals and the enemy team just completely dumps into magical defense, that's insane. That's absolutely insane. And you can look at similar things that Titan's Bane's gonna do. I haven't got the graph set up for it. I haven't actually done that yet, but it's the same sort of thing. If you have Titan's Bane and Executioner, Executioner's going to take off 36% of whatever they've got, and then the Titan's Bane's going to come in and slap some more of that off. And it works. The reason that those two work so well is because, well, I say they work so well, there are slight anti-synergies between them, but the fact of the matter is that at some point, Titan's Bane is going to do more than the Executioner. Same thing here. At what point does the percentage from the Obsidian Shard become more than the Spear of the Magus? So for Spear of the Magus, the magic number is 153. If your opponent has 153 protections, buy Spear of the Magus, provided you are a character that can effectively use it. If you're someone like a Vulcan, yeah, you're not going to do that anyway, but if you have the option to being able to proc it fairly easily, Spear of the Magus is always going to be a good option. And then when they get more than that, just buy an Obsidian Shard as well, and then you have the best of both worlds. This is why the Spear of the Magus has become such a big thing, because people will look at this and go, yeah, this is just a lot of pen, and Obsidian Shard is a lot of pen, so those two together work really, really well. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for this. It's just a little quick video, a little bit of talking and showing some numbers and explaining what they really kind of mean. It's a Duke Sloth-esque video, just with my own personal flair, and by that I mean nowhere near as edited or higher quality, but that's not the point. The information is still valid. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, my name has been Supersonic Blur. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and favourite for more, and to share this stuff so people know that it exists. You guys have been a fantastic audience, and I shall see you all next time.